Essence magazine will never be the same. Any Essence festival will never be the same. Essence is no longer the vision of its creators and that brand, right? Listen, Clarence Smith was one of the co-founders of Essence. We know that that magazine focused on the African American woman, the ethnically Black American woman, right? He passed away this year, 2025. He was 92. May he rest in peace. My condolences to his family. And when we remember Essence, we should remember it as it was founded. That's how we should remember the festivals. With that said, Social Nurse here. I wouldn't be surprised if Essence Festival no longer occurs, if it's just done away with. I wouldn't even care. I would not care if it's never done again, right? Especially under these circumstances. I think that what I'm hearing over there on TikTok, these people, these organizers, the owner, Richelieu Dennis, and the CEO, somebody Wanga, whatever her name is, that Kenyan lady, they did not put a lot of work in organizing the festival. And that's what they meant to do. That's what they meant to do. Spend little money, collect money, and to not give a care about the origins of the festival and how important the festival is to ethnically Black Americans, African Americans, those of us that descend from enslaved people here on the North American continent, in the country that we know as the United States of America, right? I think they were totally unconcerned, as evidenced by what has been reported and talked about, right? Right? By so many people. We know that Essence magazine was established with a focus on African American woman, the ethnically Black American, right? And they extended the brand to have the yearly festival, right? My understanding is vendors, some weren't invited or some decided not to participate, right? They had a jollof rice versus jambalaya. Now we know Africans can only, those continental Africans that immigrate here or deal with ethnically Black Americans, they can only compare themselves to us. They are delusional about who we are and who they are, right? They think they are somewhere up on this really high ladder, right? And they won't do it in their own country. But this time, this man, Richelieu Dennis, is deciding to focus on Africa, specifically Nigeria's talent. And they plan to include the African diaspora, right? So they're going to use Essence legacy and flip it around, change it to whatever they want, and say that, oh, we built it from the ground up, blah, blah, blah. So this is what Essence has become, and I think we can just forget about Essence festivals as the way that we know them. I think that them not putting anything into it, if we compare it to the past, it's intentional, and it's going to be even worse if it continues to happen. Now, their lens is so different than ours. The continental African lens is severely different than the African American, ethnically Black American, the original Negro, the original colored person here in the United States, right? It's so different. And this isn't to be mean, but we should have peeped their behaviors a long time ago. We should have peeped. There is no excuse. There's no, white people told us this, that, the other. You don't have to tell Africans anything for them to be against each other over there on the continent, right? We understand this. There's something about their lens that I mean, of course, during that Berlin meeting to cut up Africa and colonize, of course they knew they would be able to do that because they had already observed the mindset. Right? Now, although we have not been a perfect group of people over here in the United States, we are a class of racially black people that are not the worst, right? We don't bamboozle Africans or use them or ride on their backs in their nations and then claim we are like the elite blacks of America, of Africa, or some African nation, right? We're a bit different. We move a little bit differently because of the emotional attachment of just the African ancestry we have and what our people have gone through in this country of the United States of America. With that said, that man can do what he wants to with his company. He purchased it. It's legitimately his. And he's going to go in a different direction with it. But that doesn't mean he needs to use our money on this soil to do it. Right? It is what it is. Wish Essence goodbye. See you later. It's over. It's done. I think that Africans are good at having this appeasing and agreeable persona, right? But ultimately, it's to, carry out their own agendas, right? When Africans, I believe when many of them see the Black American, the ethnically Black American, they see dollar signs, right? So, it is what it is. We'll have to regroup. Maybe we will come up with something else, right? Because we always tend to be innovative. But this is the end of the Essence Film Festival. Their lens is completely different. And Stephanie Mills penned an open letter to talk about her experience and the shortcomings. According to Stephanie Mills, it was chaotic, disorganized. It was not organized at all. It was unprofessional. The festival and the atmosphere and the people that ran it did not do a good job. And I think it was intentional. I don't think they cared. Right? Listen, it is what it is. But I'm glad our respected R&B artists put it out there. These people do not care. That Liberian man, Richelieu Dennis, and that Kenyan woman, whatever Wanga, their vision, their lens is pointed in a different direction. And if you've heard anything about this Richelieu Dennis guy over the years in reference to what's been going on with Essence, there's been a lot of mess. Conversations about and reports about cronyism, harassment, and unethical behavior. And it is a reflection, the disorganization, the chaos, is what Africa is known for, many of those nations. I mean, the African may talk and over there on TikTok just constantly talking, and even on other platforms, America and what's going on in this, when their country, Kenya, is in an uproar, riots, police brutality, black on black, right? Nigeria, people are being all kinds of havoc. Their churches celebrate scamming. I mean, South Africa is being infiltrated by other Africans that they wish not to be in their country. So it is what it is. The lens is different. And it's up to us to recognize the game. Let's not be bamboozled. Social nerves.